Good morning everybody. Today we start unit 5th, that is selectors. What is selectors? First of all, we will discuss the thing what we have used in previous lectures, what topics we have covered. Okay, in the selectors are the thing where these selectors can be used in many of the areas in RPS. Selector is basically what? For example, if you want to take the coordinates of a desktop or a particular coordinates onto the desktop or any of the form, so you will use the selectors. Okay, it will give you the exact coordinates where you want to put something. Okay, I am telling you this thing in a layman language, but in exact what is selectors, we will discuss this thing in this particular lecture. The today's agenda is, first of all we will discuss the introduction to selectors, and then second, Excel data table automation. Okay, how we use selectors while we automate the Excel data table. Okay, any of the table that is prepared in Excel, we can automate the particular table with the help of the selectors. For this particular lecture, we will discuss selectors and the Excel data table automation. Okay. First of all, we will discuss the introduction to selectors. Selectors is a string of characters like VB expressions used to identify objects on the screen. Okay. We have already discussed so many times in previous lectures that each and every activity that we will conduct or that we have already made till now with the help of the UiPath Studio. Okay, so a selector in UiPath Studio is a feature that enables the identification of the user interface element through its address and attribute stored as XML fragments. Okay, like in previous slides or in very first slide, while I was told you in layman language that it will give the exact or appropriate coordinates of a particular screen or a particular form or any of the place that you want to take the actual coordinates. So likewise, user interface element through its address and attributes stored as XML fragments. Okay. Selectors are generally generated automatically every time we use an activity that interact with GUI element, graphical user interface element. Okay. Selector is, you can say that it is a tedious to deal with selectors while working with them. Okay. While we are discussing about the introduction of the selectors, now I want to tell you it is tedious to deal with selectors with working with them. Okay, this is because a selector has attributes, title and class properties. Okay, we will select a UI element using a selector. It stores all these properties. Different instance of an application may have different properties of an UI element. Okay, next is introduction to, again, most of the time when an automated process involves working with UI element, I have told you. Okay, UI element means what? Different instance of an application may have different properties of the UI element. What is this? When we select a UI element, user using its selectors, it stores all these properties. So most of the time when an automated process involves working with UI elements, selectors are used. Okay, the activities includes, for example, clicking buttons while you apply the buttons, while you click onto the button. Second one is inputting or scraping text. We have already discussed the screen scraping as well as the data scraping. Okay, in from a field on a website, choosing an option from a drop down list. Okay, this is all about the activities where you will when you automate the process where working with UI elements, where the selectors are used. Extraction is the primary features of RPA. Okay, why we use selectors? We, for example, we want to extract some information from something. I am not talking about something is means that may be your data table, that we have already discussed, that we will study in this particular lecture, Excel data table. Okay, extract information from the data table, or you can say that Excel data table automation. So extraction is the primary feature of RPA, that is enabling UI automation. Behind the scene, many technologies are at work on the seamless extraction of the information from the UI. Now we will discuss about the types of selectors. Before discussing the types of selector, I just want to tell you about the problem with selector is when you select a UI elements, it captures its property. We have already discussed this thing in uh, uh, previous slides. Okay. Problem with what? Selector is when you select a UI element, it captures its properties. These property will differ when we select the UI element of a different instance of an application with the selector. This is what the problem. Okay, we can fix this particular problem by using wildcard character. Now I think you don't know about the wildcard character. Okay, asterisk symbol you all know. Okay, asterisk symbol, star symbol, that is asterisk symbol, that will be considered as a, or you may call it in RPA as a wildcard character. We can easily fix this particular problem by using wildcard character or by attaching it to a live element. Okay, we will discuss this thing in later. So first of all, we will select the discuss the types of selectors. Okay, selectors are automatically generated when UI elements are indicated inside activities or when the recorder is used. Okay, you have already discussed, we have already studied the recording also. In recording, just briefing to you, like basic recording, web recording and desktop recording. And fourth type of recording that we was discussed over there, that is Citrix recording, CITRIX, Citrix recording. Okay, so in that case the selectors were used there. In that particular area selectors were also used. Okay, but now we are studying this concept of selector in detail. Okay, now the basic types of two selectors are, first one is partial selector, second one is full selector. What is partial selector, what is full selector? If as far as the differentiation between the two is concerned, you may call it as the full and partial selector is very important when using activities generated or added inside container, outside the container, or other way around. Okay, difference between full and partial selector is very important when using activities generated or added inside, outside, or other way around the container. Okay, next is, first of all we will discuss the full selector. What is full selector? Contain all the tags and attributes needed to identify a UI element. Okay, including the top level window, generated by the basic recorder. As you have seen while we have discussed the recording or the basic recording. Okay, this thing you have already seen. The screenshot that is to be attached over here, you can see here, this is what, this is when you will click onto an element, or you can say that when you will click onto the mouse. Okay, while using the selectors or while applying the selectors, such types of screen will be required when you validate that particular selector. Okay, best suited when the application when the action performed requires switching between multiple window. This is the indicate element. This arrow will be the indicate element. You can see that validate is in green color. Okay, it is tick mark, that means validate. Whatsoever the element, whatsoever the clicking buttons you are going to validate in terms of selectors, if there is no problem, if there is no error in that particular thing will be validated. Otherwise it will not be validated. Okay, it will give an error while you run your program or run your process. This is the indicate element, and this is all about like app notepad.txt, cls notepad, title untitled notepad, a name text editor. Okay, this is what the types of full selector. Okay, types of selectors in this we have discussed. Full selector. What is partial selector? Don't contain the tags and attributes of the top level window. Thus the activity with partial selector must be enclosed in container. Okay, again it is generated by the desktop recorder, and it is best suited for performing multiple actions within the same window. When and which selectors are used? Now first of all, when we use selectors, first of all we will identify what kind of selector is used and where we use that kind of selector. Like if we are talking about the partial selector or talking about the full selectors, first of all we should identify which one of the selector will be used while we are implementing into the application or the process. Like partial selector would be required in a simple automation where the deployed workflow only perform action in the same application without shifting multiple windows like a simple CRM. Okay. On the other hand, if the workflow would actually be required to interact with multiple windows, like the same CRM and a window which would make the UI element required in this particular example dispersed in multiple windows, full selector will be required. Okay, now it is very clear to you people that when and where which kind of selector we will choose. Okay, again I am telling you, partial selector will be required in a simple automation where the deployed workflow only perform action in the same application without shifting through the multiple window. But in full selectors, what you may call it as the that will interact with multiple window. Okay, it would be required, actually be required to interact with the multiple window. So you may call it as, in a simple words, that partial selector will be required or it will be deployed where your workflow perform only same application, perform action within the same application but without shifting the windows. Okay, and where you can interact with multiple windows, you will use the full selector. Next is Excel automation. How we can automate the data. I have already told you that information extraction, or you can say that extraction process, is a very important process or the feature of your RPA. With the help of that particular feature, by using the selectors, we can extract the information from the Excel data table. So to do Excel automation using UiPath Studio, we need to follow the steps given below. Step 1 is first open the UiPath Studio and start a new blank project. Okay, as we have discussed, as we have done till now in the laboratories as well as in class, first of all, when any of the process is being started automation, when is being started automated, first of all we all will open the UiPath Studio and start a new blank project. Step 2. Now put the Excel file from which you want to read the data in the folder of your current project. Okay, we are reading the data from the following Excel file like this one. It is not mandatory that you should require a complete or full-fledged Excel file that will contain the hundreds or thousands of entries. No, you can extract the data as a simple by sampling the uh, feeding the data 2 or 3 rows and columns and directly retrieve the data to automate that particular sheet to extract the information. This is the your second step, where you just put simply Excel file from which you want to read the data in the folder of your current project. Okay. Step third. As you all know what kind of activity we are involving in our process, we simply use the drag and drop operation. So in step third, you will drag and drop a sequence in the designer panel. Step fourth, drag and drop Excel application scope activity below the sequence in the designer panel, not that it can be searched from the activity panel. I have already told you so many times while we have discussed in lab that activity can be drag and drop from either the activity panel or within the same work area. There will be the plus symbol. You just click onto the plus symbol at the above. You will find each and every activity. It depends upon you which particular method you should choose. Okay, so in step fourth, just drag and drop Excel application scope activity below the sequence in designer panel. Note that it can be searched from the activity panel. Step 5. We need to provide the path of the Excel file. Okay, what Excel file you are going to automate, you just need to provide the path of the Excel file. Click the browse button. It will open the location of your current project where you have saved the Excel file. Okay, select the Excel file and path will be shown in Excel application scope. This Excel application scope is the same activity that you have drag it from the activity panel and drop into the working area or designer area. Next step, that is step 6, as we need to read the file, drag and drop read range activity under Excel application scope. Okay, this is the another activity that is known as read range. You just simply drag and drop that particular activity under the Excel application scope in the designer panel. It can be searched from activity panel. Okay, step 7, in the property of read range activity, provide the name of the output variable. Output variable means, first of all, I am just telling you that first of all you should what will be the primary requirement is what you must have the Excel file. Second is what you will provide the path of that particular Excel file into the application. Next one is that you will use the read range activity under the Excel application scope within the designer panel, and finally you will provide a range in the property of the read range. You will provide the output variable. Okay, so after providing the output variable, the next step, now you also want to see its output. We need to drag and drop output data table activity under the read range activity. Okay, we have already discussed this thing. First of all, Excel application scope. Within that, you will append read range activity, create the output variable, and again need to drag and drop the output data table activity under the read range activity. Step 9 is, in the property of output data table activity, provide the name of the output tag as variable. Okay, as we have done in step 7. Okay, what we have done in step 7, we just simply create the output variable within the read range activity. Now in this particular step, in the property of the output data table activity, you just provide the output text variable that you was created in step 7. For example, if we give it as, for example, dt out, dt stands for example, data table, you may call it as, otherwise no need to pronounce this thing, what is d stands for and what is t stands for. You just simply write any kind of variable, any name you can provide. Along with that, it also requires input, which would be dt1 as provided in the read range activity. You can see each and everything that it is to be written in this particular slides. You can find all these things into the property window. And next step is step 10. Now after getting the output, we want UI path to display it. For this, we have to drag and drop message box under output data table. In the text box of message box, write dt out. Final project will be look like this one. You can see this thing here. First of all, you have used the drag and drop the Excel application scope. You just simply write hello.xlsx. This is the path of your file name or your Excel file. Then apply the do loop is the read range activity. What is it? This is the read range. It is the sheet 1. Okay, here you will create the output. Okay, then output data table, and finally in message data box, in output data table, you just simply pass that particular variable that you have created in read range activity for the output for that data table. Okay, and in message box, you just simply write that particular variable name, that is dt out. This is what the whole sequence that you have been created for automation of the Excel file. Okay, this is all about the Excel automation. And finally, step 11, when you run this project, it will read the Excel file and give the output in a message box as follows. Okay, like this is the thing that we have written in the Excel file. Each and every information is to be written in this particular message box. That was a simple example of Excel automation in which the data can be read. Okay, this is the reference section. We have already discussed this one, and multiple times I have told you in the class as well as in labs that follow the academy.uipath.com so that each and every activity, so that you can learn the practice, or you can get the practical exposure from here. Okay. Finally, thank you. This is all about the selectors and the Excel data table automation. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Otherwise, do this thing, do practical implementation of these things. Okay, we will discuss the practical implementation in our lab. Thank you so much.